Okay. Want to welcome everybody to another episode of Levi's U Sports Talk. And first, I want to start off by thanking my sponsors, Steve Aguado for the banner and Justin Womack for the chain. Two things y'all see behind me. My wife made the shirt right there. Um, and make sure y'all hit the like button for this video. Also, make sure y'all subscribe to the YouTube channel. We want to welcome volleyball coach, the head coach of Lightning Volleyball there in San Antonio, Texas, Stephanie Pettigrew, to the show.
How's it going? How
All
are you?
right, all right, doing good. First, I know we did this, a while back, but if you want to start off by talking about your upbringing and the sports you played growing up.
So I am from actually a small town in Arkansas, West Memphis, Arkansas. I played softball and a little bit of volleyball growing up. Not much, not as competitive as my kids play, but I was more competitive with softball. Three older brothers, highly competitive family, highly competitive. Whether it was cards, checkers, no matter what it was. Um, that's pretty much it. I was a shortstop and second base for softball. Loved being dirty all the time. We had white uniforms. It was never clean. I'm sure my mom appreciated that. I like to slide. um, as far as growing up, like I said, me and my brothers were pretty competitive. I had three older brothers. I was the only girl. My dad was pretty competitive too. He didn't take it easy on us when it came to the competition. He always wanted to win, so we were always trying to beat him. Pretty competitive throughout the sports, anything that I played. So, yeah. I met my husband when I was 14, and we've been together ever since. So, yeah.
Okay, nice. That's a long time.
Yes, 23 years. Yes.
Okay, okay. So to start off, volleyball, it's when I watch it, it looks so simple, but you start moving all around and then somebody get the point, and then you got to remember where you were at when before all of this started. So how do
Oh,
you like how do you get the girls to just understand their rotation, to make them remember their spot where they in? Is it certain things you say, or is it, I mean, they just remember?
honestly, that's probably one of the hardest parts, I think, at the younger age, is because you're trying to think, you got to remember what to do in the skill. And as the sport progresses, it gets even faster. So you have to know the skill and you have to remember, oh, well, I'm going to this spot. So usually at a young age, I develop all the way around players. So they have to play everywhere. So there's not a lot of switching until they are proficient in like serving and passing. And once we can pass to a target, then we only switch with like my middle person, like what they would call a middle hitter, and my setter. My setter always sets from right front. So they just really only have to switch in two rotations. Everybody else stays the same. I make it really simple.
Mm.
Um, when it starts to get a little bit more specialized is when it really starts to get in, which some of my girls are just now kind of getting into that. Um, so I don't really specialize at first. So I get them used to the sport. And then once they are proficient in the fundamentals, then we talk specializing. So if you're middle, your home or your base, should we say, when the ball goes over the net, when we send it over the net, you have a certain spot that you have to go to because that's where you're going to be, your best, right? That's your position. And if we lose a point, then it means you have to go back. And honestly, it's part of the game. You're going to get called out of rotation when you're learning. And that's a hard point to lose. I can say that.
Mhm.
I can tell you, all parents, myself included, even when my daughter was in at the 16s and 17s level, I'm like, we're out of rotation. no, we're gonna lose a point, and then it happens. It's part of the sport. So all I can say with learning rotations is repetition, repetition, doing it over and over and over. It's not a lot of fun. A lot of times the girls get bored, but in order to make that muscle memory, you got to keep going over it, over and over and over and over.
Yeah. So most of the time, like if they catch the person, out of place, out of rotation, is it just the coach keeping up with the notes and making sure they in the right place, or is it the referee or what they call them?
It
That
depends on the ref. So, like when you're going to a more when you get paid referees that know what they're doing, I guess you would say, that's what they're looking for. Like the up ref and the down ref, they both have responsibilities. The down ref is really supposed to be calling if they're out of rotation. And they know a lot of the times, and they'll let you serve, they'll let you do everything, and then they'll wait, and then they'll just like make this little movement. And you're like, oh. And then they'll explain, because then some girls are like, I don't even know what we're doing. Like, how did we get confused? It just takes that one missing puzzle piece. But sometimes the coaches leave it on the girls. It just really depends on the caliber of the team, I think. Some coaches just like, if we're out of rotation, y'all need to know where you're at. I'm not going to keep up with rotations type stuff. Y'all should know that. You should know where you're at on the court. But in the younger ones, the coach really should be keeping up with it all. Which is the thing. But if you're one coach, you can only do so much. So make it simple.
Yeah. Oh, well, because I know when I be watching it, like when my daughter was playing in middle school, and I'm like, man, they just went all over the place. And how do you remember? I know me, I would get in the wrong spot. I 100% would be in the wrong spot because it's difficult.
It's even hard for me now because I'm like, wait a minute, because it goes so fast. They move, and then if they go back to base, so base is where we're at, where everybody should be in their position, and then the ball's on the other side, right? So then if they popcorn it, if they're just hitting it right back over, and then we're moving, it creates a lot of chaos, especially if the other team is not doing like a pass, a set, a hit. They're just popcorning it over. They're overpassing all the time. It can create good teams that have really good system work in place. It can cause chaos, and that's really sometimes why they lose points. So because they're used to system work and not the chaos craziness. So when people start just popcorning it over, it's not really pretty.
Uh-oh. Well,
Not real pretty.
yeah. Well, I mean, I wish yeah. It's another thing like softball. It's something I couldn't play. It's something I couldn't play because softball, like, nah, I couldn't do that. Baseball, no, ball's coming way too fast, moving and all this, and you gotta try to hit it. And then volleyball, especially when they spike it, you know what I mean? Like for the this is for the older ones, right? When
Yeah.
they spike it and that ball coming, and then oh yeah, nah. I,
I
I, I
think
like my spot in the stands.
I think the serving, I think they say even at like the high school level, they want you serving like 40, 45 miles an hour. I'm like, that's pretty fast. That's pretty fast for some little kids. Some of those kids, they're really small. They don't have any meat on their bones. They get hit with all those balls, they're going to be out. Something new for me was my daughter, or not my daughter, I was coaching a team that was a 15U, and we went and they had a bunch of 13U boys they had to play against. Now, when I tell you they were amazing, but those boys get hit like one girl got really just throat punched with one of these balls, and I'm surprised she didn't fall out. Everybody heard the thud when they hit. The vertical was crazy. It was an experimental, I wouldn't say experimental, practice for them. So they didn't get to win or anything. They didn't get to be actually involved, but it was a little dangerous. Even at 13 years old playing against 15-year-old girls, they had the advantage because they play on a higher net, and they are no joke when it comes to their vertical. They can walk those balls.
Yeah. Yep. Softball players got some really, really big time verticals.
Yeah.
Hmm. So you have is it called the
Libero?
libero? Yeah, that one. And then you have, yeah, I'm good at messing up words. I'm pretty. A few people know that already. I'm very good at when it comes down to messing up, certain words. Like that's my cup of tea right there.
I have a country accent, so being here in San Antonio is not real pretty sometimes either.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. So that what you said, and then the setter. Like, how do you choose those players? And like just do they just come natural, or is it something that they work on? Is that how you choose them? Like,
For a libero, liberos are usually the smallest ones, but the best passer. So they're really small, but they can move. They don't have a problem throwing themselves on the floor, but they're real quick. So they can get to a ball to get the ball up and then get back to where they need to be. Um, as far as like setting goes, I usually start with bump setting, and a setter has to have good court IQ to know how to play the game and where to put the ball, which hitter to set up at the certain time, or if she needs to send it and tip it and dump it in a certain area that's open. They have to have really good court awareness, and that's just really taught through the game, honestly, especially at a young age. I know this past season when we were doing club, my setters were beautifully just executing that little tip over, the little dump over. Oh, it was so pretty. And it was just like, but it was super quick. But they practiced that for 6 months before. And it was not pretty at first. It was a lot of net balls. But eventually, just repetition, 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 building that skill up. And then they were able to execute it in the game, because a lot of times whenever we're practicing, you have to create those pressure situations, because that's when they might perform in practice, but come let 700 people look at them, they might freeze under that pressure or the time constraint. So putting some pressure on them with like different types of or not serving, but different types of drills that add a time limit, or you have to get this many in this amount of time. Or we have to do a consequence, or I usually call it a deal or no deal. So if you don't get it on the first round, you can do it the second time, but you're going to double that consequence, and they'll talk about it. They're like, okay, deal. Usually they get it, but trying to add a little fun to it. So it's not like, oh, I didn't get it. Because I swear these girls are the hardest on themselves. It's like you picked the wrong sport there to it. It's like, this is an adaptability sport. You gotta be able to go. People at the higher level can still get paid to make 75 mistakes. You're gonna make mistakes. You gotta flush it. You gotta go through it. But they are the world's worst on themselves.
I bet, yeah. I know that. I know exactly what you're talking about too, because I got one that's very tough on herself, and even playing volleyball for her school. It's like she haven't played volleyball since I think second grade, so like 4 or 5 years, and then like she playing at school, and like if she don't do something right, like because I know when she get mad, like you can tell like her body language, like, and I'm like you don't even play volleyball like that. Why are you mad? Like it should be fun for real for you. Like, yeah, just let it go. But she just like to be perfect, and she knows she practiced with school, so she feel like she's supposed to like already got it down pat.
And I try to tell my girls too, a lot of the times, sometimes you just have to, I wouldn't say fake it till you make it, but you got to trick your brain a little bit. All of the positive stuff, all the negative, like, oh, I can't do it. No, you're not going to. If you tell yourself that, you got to be like, no, this girl ain't going to ace me again, because I'm going to get it up this time. And it carries on to the rest of the team too. Like, I'm real big on the chants. I'll cheer with them. I'll be the loudest one. I do not care. I love it. I was super big with that. I know in softball, they were crazy with that chant stuff, like super loud when they were batting, everything. Sometimes they can get a little crazy with the volleyball stuff, some of the chants, but I mean, it's fun to me. I'm like, and that's part of the sport too. Like, even if you're on the bench, I don't let my girls sit. So they have to stand, and I'm huge on body language. I don't care if you're my star player. If you have body language, I'll pull you out, even if you're my own kid. I'm probably the worst on my own kid, I will say. Like,
That's
she can
about
make a mistake and I'll pull her out real quick. But I give the other girls a lot more chances than my own kid. But I just know when she's really playing and when she's not. Like,
it. Got you. Hmm. And like, do you just, is it just because it's your kid, so you hold her to higher standards that you just, quick with it, or what is it?
It's really for me. I hold everybody to a standard where this is what we're gonna do. We're not gonna have bad body language. We're not gonna be a bad sport. If we lose, it's because we've done something, and if we lose gracefully. It's gonna teach us something. And there for a while, I would tell them we wouldn't lose, we would learn. So, what did we learn from our loss today? Things like that. What could we have done better? Were we talking? What were we doing? Things like that. I always ask them questions like that. But it's for everybody. I guess I'm just more amped to take her out because I don't want anybody to think I'm playing favorites either. Like, if my kid's messing up, I'm not afraid to say she's messing up, because there's always that stigma of coaches' kids always get to play the most type thing. I'm not that type of coach. If my kid's messing up, she's going to come out. I want the team to do well. So if my kid isn't performing, she isn't performing. I'm not oblivious to that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, softball and volleyball got something in common because it's the same way in softball. I mean, just parents just expect for the coach's kid to just always be the best kid, and a lot of, like, sometimes that is the truth, but sometimes it's not. But that don't mean he should, or you, or whatever the coach is, him or her, they should, I don't feel like they should treat their kid, like put more pressure on them. That's how I like to see it, because the coach's kids, like, as they get to the certain age, it's like, oh crap, like, I'm the coach's kid, I have to do this and that. And it's like, no, like, no, you don't have to. Like, you're the coach is the coach, right? Don't think just because that's your dad or your mom that you should have to your bar should be higher. But at the same time, I get it both ways, because I was used to be that coach and tell my kid, like, you gotta, let's go. So
Yeah. And I think for me too, I know when she's giving it 100%, and I'll be okay with a little bit of her mess ups then. But when I know she's not going hard, I'm like, oh, no, ma'am. No, ma'am.
yeah,
We're not doing that.
yeah. Oh no, I get it. I get it. What inspired you to become a volleyball coach? Like, like, just what made you want to do it?
Like I said, I'm competitive. Honestly, it wasn't. My daughter started playing volleyball, both of them. I put them in volleyball. They asked me to coach, like, for a rec league, and I'm like, no, I just want to be that coach, or I just want to be that parent in the stand that watches their kid, yells, hoops, and hollers.
Mhm.
We went to the first practice, and the guy was a football coach. Didn't really know much. He was just trying to help us get. I'm like, okay, I can't sit still. Like, I know a little bit about it. Like, I will help you out if you need me to. And then it just kind of went from there. When he gave the team over to me, I really just took charge of it. And they were like 8 at the time. They were super little, super young, and then really seeing their progression each season made me a little bit more hungrier every time, I think. And then honestly, I think when I decided to go up an age group and create a team, kind of go out of my comfort zone than what I was doing at the time. The group of girls that I had, they just have my heart. Honestly, they're like my babies, and how much they've grown is just crazy. Most of them are 11. I have a couple of 12s, one 13, and they all made club this season. Some of them made regional teams. And my whole goal with it was whatever girls that I want to coach, I want them to be able to go to middle school ball or a club team and not be the one that has to sit the bench. Like, the coach has to play you because you have the skill. So they've done super well. And then from there, I was like, well, I need to sharpen up on my skills. It's not the same thing as it was when I was a kid. So I've got a couple of certifications. I'm constantly watching video footage. I record all of my games, do stats. All of my, I've got, like I said, a few certifications from college coaches that, offer the certifications, constantly learning stuff, getting a lot of different clientele for like private lessons. So I'm learning from other girls too when they're doing private lessons. It's like a sponge for me. I enjoy it. I enjoy every bit of it. It's overtaken my life, but a lot of the times kind of I do it for free. Like I don't get paid anything. So I'll be on the court. My husband has to literally pull me off. He's like, it's time to go home. Like we got to go. But he's at home with me a lot of times watching video footage. What do we got to do next week? What do we got to do to fix this? Constantly doing something. So I think I'm addicted to the progress that I see with it and all of the light up when they actually do the skill that they've been learning and struggling with and they execute it on the court is super. And I'll be their biggest fan, hooping and hollering probably louder than their parents. I'll
like
be a fool on the sideline.
I hear you.
Most coaches sometimes are kind of like put off by that too, especially in the rec league. The rec league, they just don't like it when I cheer for my girls like that. If I'm like going crazy for them, it's not anything against the other team. It's they like that reaction from me, I guess you would say. So I'll throw a big old fit about it. Nothing mean or ugly, just screaming, hooping, and hollering.
Dang, I don't see nothing wrong with that. As long as you ain't intimidating nobody or messing with the other team, I don't see nothing wrong with that.
I'm like, that's not our problem. That's their problem. As far as I'm concerned, that means they got to get a little tougher skin.
Yeah. Right? Beat me and then I won't be hooping. I mean, I will, but just not as much.
Right. If your girls are doing that, hey, I've been one to be like after the game, if somebody got us a couple of times, I'll tell the girl, hey, nice serves. Like, those are awesome. Keep it up. I'm not one to be like, I don't like them because they beat me. No, they beat you. They beat you. It is what it is. You got to work harder. It's part of the game. You're never going to be perfect.
Yeah. Because at the same time, the other team don't know the reason why, right? So it could have been something that y'all been working on at practice for the past week, and now she's finally able to do it. So you gotta congratulate her and celebrate her in those moments, and that could be something that the other team they just don't know, right? Like so, it's just different things when you out there cheering. Yes, you gotta cheer for your team, but it's extra when something like that actually happens.
Right, and honestly, I've learned this a lot too. If those girls know that I'm there for them, that I'm going to do whatever I can, they're going to jump through hoops for me as a coach. They're going to do what I ask them to do. There's going to be rough days, but they're going to be more coachable for me, I feel like, in my experience too.
Yep. No, I agree. So can you describe your coaching philosophy and how do you implement it like in practice? Like how do you get the girls to just buy into your coaching style?
So honestly, I tell every girl that comes to me because I've noticed that with the girls that I've had, like my core girls, my OGs, I call them, they've been through it. Like with me, they've went through I'm pretty loud. I can be pretty aggressive. I do a lot of fast pace. So one of my biggest pet peeves is I don't let them walk on the court. That's one way for you to run a lot. A lot. Don't walk on the court because it just shows that you're lazy. Like, don't walk on the court. We don't have time for that. And I establish all of my, my expectations with the parents and the kiddos up front. I don't sugarcoat anything. Never have. I just don't feel like I don't have a lot of time for that. Like, I'm not going to tell you, oh, your kid's great when your kid's not great, that she needs work. And I'm there to help as long as you show up to practice. I can't help you if you don't show up to practice. And you just have to be disciplined a little bit. And the girls, usually I can get them to buy in if I talk to them like I would talk to their parents. So if I tell them front out the gate, like, look, this is our plan for this season. If we want to hit the ball, like spike the ball, we have to be able to pick up a pass. Otherwise, there's no reason. So if I explain to them a lot of what my reasoning is and what we should be doing and why, they're more apt to be like, oh, okay, instead of just like, oh, I don't want to do this. This is boring. Yeah. But as far as philosophy goes, fundamentals.
Just can't get enough of it.
Can't get enough. And it's still like, each goal, like when we first started with one of my younger teams, all they could do was get it over the net. I didn't care about 3 hits. Now, a lot of coaches will argue with this, but this is a rec league. It's not a program. I have maybe 7-8 weeks with these girls that I understand that you want to see development, but also people want to win. Mm-hmm. Right? They're not going to stick with you if you don't show them that that you're part of a winning team. So with that, we got to do what we got to do to win where the skill level is at. Not everybody's on the same skill level. Get the ball over. That's where we start at 9 to 11 with 9-year-old girls. They're not trying to spike the ball yet. Most of the girls can't. So right. Once they can do that proficiently, then we work on to the next one. And then that next season, we do something else to where we go 3 hits. I don't care what happens. I don't care if you lose a point. We got to get 3 hits no matter what. So you can get 3 passes, but the 3rd pass, you have to go over the net. I think now we're just now getting to where we're switching a little bit. We're passing to a target with 3 hits. I'm usually contacted for serves. My teams are usually serving teams. One of my girls just got 25-0, which was kind of nice. Served a perfect game. That was pretty cool. Not really the greatest thing to do, but it was an accomplishment for her. It made her feel good. But it just showed that she had some really good serves that day. But we're at the point now to where they can only miss 5 serves in a game.
As a team?
As a team. They miss any more than 5 serves, there's a consequence on Tuesday. Uh-oh. Because I always tell them, you don't want to miss your first serve. You don't want to miss a serve from a timeout. Because that's what they're trying to do. If you're on a roll, they're trying to break your serve. I do it. There's strategic methods to that, and you don't want to move. You don't want to lose the game point, or if someone else just lost their point, like if your teammate before just lost, you don't want to lose game point. So there's many different variables to what they don't want to do, what they can't do. But I do a lot of serving. A lot of teams don't do serving drills, which is crazy to me. Even at the club level, they don't really work on serving, from what I've seen. They work on in system stuff.
Serving drills, like as in just
serving,
hitting the ball over the net.
Which is one thing that everybody has. Like that's one thing you have complete control over yourself as a team or as a player, individual player. If you can't get your serves over, a lot of times in like school ball, if you can't serve, you don't play a lot, honestly. Or if you're not a good hitter, things like that. But I do a lot of serving. Like sometimes they have to get my 9 to 11s have to get 75 serves over in 3 minutes.
As a team.
As a team.
And how many do you have on the team?
10. And then some days it's a struggle. Some days they're knocking it out of the park. But then I also like one of my strategic things is you have 8 seconds with some places to serve. For me, anytime you come, even with the private training, you have 3 seconds to serve the ball. And most of that is because they sit there and they think about it. And it's like, oh, just serve the ball. You'll be a lot better off. But a lot of coaches, they don't teach any of that. I just know that from experience, honestly. I'm like, why are they doing this? Why are they taking so long? And I tell the girls all the time, how many times do you see the other team's coach talking to them when the whistle's blown and the other team's looking at their coach? You can serve. That's not your fault. But that's a point. They should be paying attention. So they serve. So the girls that I've been training, they're like, did you do a private lesson with so-and-so? She served right on that whistle. We're like, that's Coach Steph.
You know exactly who taught her. Yeah.
Yeah. She was like, she did. She got 2 in a row. I was like, see, it works. Strategic sometimes is part of coaching too.
Oh yeah, big time. Big time. You have to have some type of strategy. Like,
Yes.
okay, let's go out here and play that game. That's not good strategy. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
it's crazy to me because whenever I went, I coached at 15U. I helped coach me and another coach. Her daughter played on there. I'd never coached 15s before. It was something brand new to me because I'll be honest, I hate rotations. I'm like, I'm gonna get them mixed up. I'm gonna get them out of rotation. Like these girls don't know me. Like, oh, I don't know what they
Right.
usually. I don't want to confuse them. But I think they had won one game all season. And we go that weekend, and I'm like, we only have 7 girls. So we have to play smart. If we go against these teams that can have stronger hitters than we do right now, if we have a team that is serving better than we are, we're going to struggle. So play smart, tip the ball in the holes. It's not, if we don't have heavy hitters, we cannot compete against them if they're going to block the ball. You have to play smarter. So put it here, put it there. And we ended up winning first place because we played smarter from a team that I'd never coached before just by playing a strategic game. And they still got a lot of rallies. They played hard, but it was super fun to see that different side of the coaching actually not just be like, okay, just pass that hit. Doesn't matter if you just swing away. Well, these girls were tired of losing. Honestly, I feel like they wanted to win. So does the parents. So they didn't know me, but when they started doing what I was asking, I was like, you get a point. Points win. Right?
Yeah.
That's what wins. So get the point. Be worried about the point. Whatever you got to do, and you got to do it as a team. And they did really well. So I was like, okay, strategic is really important when you are going up against somebody that is a little bit more polished in some areas or have heavier hitters or stronger in certain areas that you're not. You got to play to your strengths instead of and their weaknesses.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I don't see nothing wrong with that. So I mean, if people think it's something wrong with you being strategic while playing the game, then they might need to rethink coaching.
Oh
That's
yeah, there's many of those out there. Those are, I was told, that whole hater thing, which I love. If you don't have haters, you're not doing anything right.
hmm
So I'm like, well, I guess I officially hit it because I got a couple of haters out there, and I like it.
Oh, come on, y'all! Don't live like that.
But I'm like, it is what it is. I really try to focus more of my stuff on trying to develop my girls to get them to a spot to where they're all around players, to where they stand out, to where they can go try out for any top club and they're going to get noticed for skill. And if they're having a bad day for hitting or if they're having a bad day digging, they're shining in other areas. They're not just one and done. And I've done that so far. I've been pretty proud of the accomplishments that all the girls have made. They make me pretty proud. They're pretty awesome girls. They get me super, super excited. I think I get excited more than they do. This past season, I think I had 6 of them, or 5 of them. They were 11. They played in a 12U, their first time doing club, my first time doing club. And I think we ranked 24 in the region out of like over 300.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty good. Like I'm not even, we win, I think 4 or 5 first place medals. We only did 3 tournaments that we still placed in 3rd or 4th, I think. And that was the lowest that we ranked throughout all of our tournaments. And most of these girls were playing much taller girls, but our serves were pretty good. Everybody would ask, are we a national team? No, we're not. We're just local.
Just a little local team trying to make it.
And they would get recognized by other coaches, and clubs would, really hype the girls up, tell them that they look great and stuff like that. So they really enjoyed it. And I can tell you this, it's probably the less amount of tears I've seen all since my coaching career. Like even when they lost, they fought so hard, but there were so many games that I think that they knew that they fought hard and they weren't so bummed about it. Like they were okay with it because they knew that they fought hard.
Well, that's good when they start thinking like that. That's really good, especially
That
at a
means
young age.
they
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
yes.
So, what skills do you believe are most important for young players to develop, like in softball when they first start?
Passing and serving. If you can't serve, you can't make
Mhm.
points. If you can't pick up a serve, you can't hit the ball. Like you can't set up, you can't do plays. So if you can't serve, you're going to be at a disadvantage. And if you can't pick up a serve, you can't do anything else. So I
Yeah,
always tell the girls, if you want to hit the ball and do 3 hits and spike, you got to pick up the serve. You can't let it hit the floor. And I feel like Beetlejuice every time the ball hits the floor. My head just goes around. I'm like, oh my gosh, what are we doing? What are we doing?
yeah, right, yeah. Because I mean, it's like you can't get a point, but then you giving up a point. Yeah, you in the negative.
Yes. And
Mm-hmm.
I always tell them if they're going to earn a point, if the other team is going to earn a point, they need to earn it. Don't give it to them. And
Mm-hmm.
letting the ball hit the floor is like a pretty little package delight. There you go.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
because you could at least hit it out of bounds, or
Some,
something, something.
something. Some
Hmm.
type of effort. And a lot of it is communication. I'm like, I hear all of y'all chatterboxes in practice. We come to the game and then we go mute. What's going on? Like, I'll be the loudest. I'm calling your place to the side. Sometimes I get so into it to where I lose my voice. I'm like, what are y'all going to do now that I've lost my voice? I can't yell and scream and hoop and holler.
Oh my, and I bet sometimes like what I like about like when the little girls like when they mess up is like they might put their hands on their head and they might look up and they get so mad.
Yes, I tell my girls too. There's 2 incidents that happen. I'm like, if you mess up, don't do this. Don't.
Hmm.
I'm like, what does that show the other team that they got you? They're going to go for you again. So if
Hmm.
you're scared of the ball, you need to act like you're going to eat the ball. Like once you show
Yeah.
that, they're going to go for you if they're really good. And then
Hmm.
the other thing, they would get too close to the net and they would touch the net. The ref never saw anything. So I'm
And then
like,
they do it.
they just looking like, I'm like, you just let it go. If they catch you, they catch you. If they don't make it obvious.
Yeah.
Just turn around.
Oh my, yeah.
They've gotten pretty good at not touching the net, but when we first started, oh man, they made it way too obvious. Way too
Yeah,
obvious.
they gotta get in and get out. And as
Yes,
you mess up, you hurry up and mess up and get back right.
yes. The the passing thing, like we do lots of reps for passing
Hmm.
and serving. Like sometimes I'll have them serve to the most difficult spots, and then we go like to cross court. They have to do so many, and then the other side cross court, and then we'll drop them short. Like each aspect of the thing. Now we're like doing smaller, like little golf balls or little tennis balls, and if you get that, if you hit it, you get 25 points, and you have to get 100 points. I think we made it up to 75 points in the matter of 3 minutes. You get it to a certain spot, it's 5 points, or this point is this many points. It's a lot of math at the time. So they got to bear with coach too, trying to add up stuff. So if
That's
I don't
good
add it
though.
up right, they will for sure tell me.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. That's good competitive stuff right there though. Just to
Yes.
make sure they keep that competitive.
Yeah, make them. I try to make a lot of games out of it, like
Mhm.
competitive stuff. So they have to go against each other. So they kind of get not so upset when they lose, but they're like, okay. Because if they try to go up against me, I'm trying to beat them. I don't try to take it
Right.
easy. I try to beat them,
Mhm.
and they love beating me. They love beating me at anything. For sure. They're like,
I bet.
fall
I
out.
bet. That's beating coach got to be one of the best things ever right there.
Yes. If they hit Like they spike and I miss it. Oh man, they're hooping and hollering and like they just won the lottery.
That's funny because I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean, man. They oh coach want to play me in this, then if you lose, oh, because if they win, I mean, and then I'm pretty sure if you win, I mean, I hope that you jump up and down because
Oh,
if it was me, I'd do the same.
I talk smack to them. I'm like, ooh, got you, like,
Yeah.
playing around, and they know. I had one girl, she was doing blocking, and I went up to hit, and she actually blocked me, and she was shocked that she blocked me. And you can hear all the parents like, oh, it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, man,
She got you, yeah.
got me.
Payback.
Yes. And of course, for high five, I was like, that was awesome. Keep that up. Yep, let's keep that
Mm-hmm.
going.
Yep, yep, you're right because that's what you want to see from them.
Yes,
Exactly what you want to see. So,
yes.
no, like, how do you foster teamwork and communication amongst the players? Like, how do you get them to? I mean, because it's girls, so it's all types of stuff going on. So how do you get them to make sure they don't start the little cliques in here and these are my friends and stuff like that.
I can honestly say I have girls myself.
Hmm.
I don't like drama like that. I've never liked the clicky or the cattiness. I've seen a bunch of teams be that way, and it's one of my other pet peeves. I cannot stand it. You cannot be a team if you're a clique. You just can't. You can't work together if you're a clique. So I think getting them at a young age, they don't like to be called out. I can tell you that. So
Hmm.
coach doesn't care to call you out. I will call it out pretty quick. I'll tell them, I'm like, you need to fix your face. Like, that's not what we do here. No. I'm never ugly to anybody, or I'll take them to the side and just tell them, hey, just be mindful that, you have other people here. She might not take it this way, but we're a team. You should be cheering her on, not talking to somebody else in the back. And they know that they won't get playing time if I see it.
Mm.
Because I've had to have some examples. So, and I tell them all the time, I don't care if you're the best player on the team, have zero tolerance for it. I will pull you off quicker than anything.
Hmm. So you have consequences for a lot of things.
Yes. And with it, honestly, with the
Mhm.
things that I am pretty adamant about, I'm trying to build a good team culture. And I've done that with the parents and the girls. Everybody that comes to the team, because sometimes I have practice players that come in. Um, and they're like, your team is like so welcoming, like there's no like girls off to the side, they're always saying hi, and they give me a lot of good compliments. I was like, well, they better be, but that's better, that's good, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
But I think they all get to a certain point too, to where they're all in the same boat when they're coached by me. I guess I don't try to play favorites or anything. Like whatever I'm going to say to you, I'm going to say to the other kid, because I expect it from all of you. So I think that they can kind of bond together over that. And we also my parents are really good about doing team bondings, which is pretty important. So some of these girls have played together for the past year and a half. So they just know each other. They're just starting to like mesh really well. And there's been some girls that they don't fit very well. And they don't stay. But most of the girls that fit in, which is majority of the girls, I've only had one or two that have kind of come and gone, but trying to build that culture and keep that culture with the girls and the families, it's difficult. I can say that, but sticking with it and getting it at a young age, I feel like, and just letting the girls know, as long as they know that I will do anything I can for them, they're usually pretty good about not getting that split off. And I also do a lot of different drills to where they can't have the same partner. And if I see them go into the same partner, I'll be like, okay, 1, 2, oh, now 3, 4. So now you definitely can't go in the same thing.
So you give them numbers.
I see it. They trying to put the other girl in front of the other girl. I'm like, coach sees it. And then they're like, oh. I'm like, different partner. So it's difficult, but you just have to really know your girls too.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that's good though. You know, if you because some coaches are just let the same girls be partners, right? It's like no, like you have to mix it up. Can't be with the same person every time. Like that's smart. You got to be able to work with any teammate. Like is the reason why y'all teammates. You got to be able to work with any teammate.
Yep, it's pretty important.
Okay. What are some challenges you faced since coaching youth volleyball, and the ones that you faced, how have you overcome them?
I would say I put 110% of my time, any free time, into coaching. And the biggest challenge I've come to is people wanting to come play for me. I feel like they want to come play for me because we're considered a winning team, but they don't want to do what it takes to be a part of that winning team. They just want to have the title of the winning team. So they miss a lot of practice, which I cannot help you if you are not there. And most of these girls are practicing 4 hours a week with me, and it's not a light practice. It's a pretty intense practice. Sometimes the girls go home crying because we run too much. Like it's intense. I'm not a soft coach like that. I do a lot of things fast paced, and it's a struggle bus at first for some, and then you see pretty big improvements. I would say that I just hold everybody to a really high standard, and I'm not going to, I guess, lower that standard because you don't want to come to practice. So those people are the only people that I hear the playing time. And I don't get a lot of that because, like I said, I keep pretty selective with my players and I don't have a big turnover. So the people that are with me or they know how I am. They don't question it. Why isn't my kid playing or anything like that? They know why. Like I tell them out the gate, this is why. Like if you want more playing time, you need to be this, this, and this. And some parents don't like that. They think it's equal playing time, no matter how much practice you miss. And if you get out there and you are ducking for the ball, I can't put you on.
Yeah, you're right.
I can't do that. So
Mhm.
I think that's probably the biggest struggle because I put so much time and yes, I don't want anybody to feel bad or to how would I say it? Feel like I'm picking on them, but hold yourself to a high standard too. If you want to be better, it takes what it takes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, and so at what age do they start doing the plays? Like,
Honestly, I have some of my 9 and 10 year olds doing them now.
okay, so it's basically whenever they can be able to remember them and run them. Then
And
okay.
it's not like complicated plays. It's
Hmm.
just more like the tips and the pushes to certain spots, strategic plays that we do as a team. We have cue words for, like if I'm on the sideline and they hear me say this, they know where to go. Like we've trained that in practice. Over and over and over, but they couldn't get there until they were at a certain level. And how we do it is okay, we're at this certain level now. Now we have to up the ante a little bit, right? So it doesn't matter. It might not be pretty at first. We might fail. It will come. You just gotta trust that process. But this is what we're doing regardless. So and usually we've had a pretty good turnout with them so far.
Okay, okay, that's good to know because I mean, it's good. It looks nice as you want to say it like that. When especially if they are, you would think they're hitting it to this person and then they hit it back and all that stuff. I'm like, man, how did that's but that's just me being at the middle school games and I see it. I see the schools doing it there. Other than that, I don't really, watch volleyball like
Yeah.
that. But when I do see it on TV, like it's like, oh, let me, even if it's 2 or 3 minutes, like I'll watch some of it and it's like 10. Like when they get older, that ball is really coming.
Yes. And honestly, like all of my girls on my younger team right now can jump serve except for one or two. Um, but the rest, the eight of them, they can jump serve. I just don't let them jump serve in the game, but they still have to practice.
Hmm. Is that like hard to practice it? Every practice, maybe at your if lessons, and then game time you can't jump. Is that like
Well, I
hard?
tell the girls this once they get proficient in practice and they can at least serve five over in a row, okay, I might be okay with you doing that in a game. And I'll usually tell them, like, I don't want you jump serving in a game. You can practice. When I see that you're more consistent, we'll talk about it. And before they could serve overhand, they were serving under. So they all wanted to serve overhand, which they're just not proficient at the time. They weren't. So I'm like, okay. So we still practice. So I would give them a formula. So I'm like, if you get your first two serves over,
Mm-hmm.
that third serve, you can overhand serve if you feel that way. But I'm not going to tell you to. Just know that you can if you want to. But you have to be okay if you don't get it over.
Mm.
You
Okay.
can't let that affect the next three plays if you miss. So I
Mm.
kind of give them a little bit of independence. Like, do I want to? Not just me telling them what to do. It's your choice. And I'm for you 100%. If you miss it, you miss it. How are you going to come back from it? Are you going to let it affect the next few plays, or are you going to flush it and make a good pass? And next ball mentality is what we call it. But so now
Okay.
I have some of the girls do two overhand serves, and they can
Hmm.
jump serve on their third one if they want.
Okay. Okay. And if they mess up and they feel like, oh, this is gonna hurt everything, then it's best for them just leave it alone.
And then if we're really far up, I'll be like, jump. What are you doing? Jump.
No, okay. So that's when you'll be like, okay, now let's get to it. Now let at least try it out.
If we're up by 15, take a risk. We can afford that point.
Right.
You
Okay.
know?
Okay. Okay. That's I like that. How do you address varying skill levels like within the team, but also just make sure that certain players improve in different type of skills? Like let's say you got everybody doing the same thing, but you didn't switch like the long sleeve shirt, the libero. That I said it right. So let's say you want to switch that. So right. So like, how do you, make sure the team is doing what they need to be doing, but also making sure the person that maybe you switch the position is getting better with the team and then also by themselves.
So usually when they first come in, they have individual every days, what we kind of call them. Like every
Okay.
practice that they come in and do, they
Mhm.
have to do like 25, whatever their different thing is. Some of them have different things than the others. And then as in practice, if someone's struggling, I have two assistant coaches, and then my husband will help too. Really, three assistant coaches and my husband. And sometimes I'll be like, take her over here and work with her with this, or I'll have them run the rest of like the whatever drill we're doing, and I'll take that girl to the side and be like, look, we got to focus on this. I want you to like kind of work with her a little bit. This is what I want you to focus on. And everything that I've learned was like, don't overload it, right? My problem sometimes is talking too much. So I have to really kind of, I guess, cue myself down and be like, okay, I don't care about your approach. I don't care about anything. I just want you to focus on your hand contact on the ball. That's it. Hand contact only. Or I just want you to work on your footwork. I don't care if you actually make contact with the ball. When you pass it, I just want you to make sure that your platform is out and your platform is to the target. Something like that. That's what you focus on.
Okay.
And then when we're playing, I usually will have all of the girls on one side that are on the court, like in our rotation, and then the other girls are on the other side playing with me against them. So everybody's kind of involved.
Okay.
And some drills, and this is something that we've learned here recently, not having long lines. So like if I have 10 girls, I don't want to do just one hitting line because they're gonna get too much chatter in the back. They're not gonna pay attention. So I had picked up a drill off of one of the certifications that you do. If you have 10 girls, you do 3 girls on the court practicing serve receive. You have 3 girls serving to them, and then you have a group of 4 girls shagging the balls. And then every 3 minutes you rotate. So everybody has a job, everybody's doing something, and there's a lot of reps in between. So we do that for like 10, 11 minutes, and they get pretty tired pretty quick because they're having to go. So I get serving down that way, I get serve receive down that way, and then I don't have to shag the ball. The girls are shagging the balls. So they're doing something, and while me and my coaches can go. So everybody's always working on something. If I'm doing something, I might have the other 2 coaches work on a certain passing drill. You do this with this group, you do this with this group, and I'm going to do this with that group. And every 5 minutes, we're going to rotate. So it's more individualized, smaller groups, so they retain a little bit more type thing.
Okay. How do you involve the parents in with their children's like volleyball experience? Like, if you say, let's say, do y'all have like days where parents play against the kids, or stuff like that, to just keep them engaged in it, so they just won't be worrying about their kid messing up or their kid tripping, or something, anything, right? So do you keep them engaged?
I do. We do have like certain practices, usually towards like the end of the season, or if we have a fun practice, they will have like the parents against the girls, and they love that. The parents too. The kids love it when they just score on their parents. We have a glow in the dark practice that they love to do, and the parents get pretty involved in that too because they get to play. Honestly, all of my parents are pretty involved in all of our stuff. So I don't have a lot of parents that don't show up to practice. They come and they watch the practice, and they don't say much, but they get really excited about the girls. And if I need help, they'll help me like shag balls, or they'll record if I ask them to record or anything like that. They're pretty involved. And I always involve them in the game. So I'm like, look, parents, if y'all don't see this, if y'all don't see me, like, call it out. You need to grab my attention. If you see this, give me this hand signal so I know. So we have like little sign languages that we do. So I'm like, okay, so I can go. But they're pretty involved.
Okay, that's good. It's a good thing to make sure the parents stay engaged in what's going on as well, because it's easily, maybe that's what other sports need to do to keep their parents engaged, because when they get too much free time, you never know what be going on, around there. So no, that's fun to see, and I see some softball people doing that every now and then. They'll have some things, but it's just kind of hard because these girls in softball, man, they really good at this younger age. So a lot of parents, I know me, I know of it, but like, I'm not gonna be out there trying to pitch or something to some of these girls, and it just wouldn't. It just wouldn't happen.
It's honestly, youth sports just in general, the amount of money that people are like putting into it is crazy to me. Like all of the training behind it. I know I was actually looking into it was like a strength and conditioning guy here in San Antonio that works with like football players for like footwork and like going one direction then changing in another direction quickly. Like stuff like that helps volleyball players for like in jumping, like vertical training and stuff like that. I'm like, this is crazy, and it's not cheap at all.
They got a coach for everything. Anything you need, they have a coach for it. Trust me.
Yes.
Yeah, these days, but I guess it's a good thing because there's a lot of stuff that these kids have these days, and we wouldn't even thought about having back in the day while we was kids, So
I'm like, if they had this when I was your age, when my kids' age, I'm like, I would be a baller right now.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, for real. You mean to tell me I don't really have to go outside and practice? I could just practice inside, like
Exactly.
like because me, I was a basketball player, so like you mean to tell me I don't have what? Okay, yeah, let's go. I'll do that. But because I wasn't an outside sports type of person. I didn't like outside sports.
I didn't like outside sports until I came to Texas. It was too hot.
Yeah,
Actually, how my kids got in volleyball, I thought I was doing a good parenting move by getting an air conditioner sport. Otherwise, I would have put them in softball, but I'm like, I don't want to sit out in that heat.
Oh yeah, trust me.
I'm playing. It's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Volleyball. Sand volleyball is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. That's extra hot though.
Yes, with the sand, like there's a place here. It's called Sideliners. At night, the sand is kind of cold, but it's super fun, super conditioning. I love sand volleyball. It's super fun. A lot of different rules in sand volleyball.
Like how do you keep up with the rule changes? Like I don't know, are there a lot of rule changes? Like each year as your team move up, or do they change during the season? Like how is it, and how do you keep up with all the rule changes for volleyball? Oh, she got a book right there.
And I'm part of you have to be a member. Like if you're a club coach, you have to be a member of the USAB volleyball, and they always send out rule changes and stuff like that. So it's pretty informative that way. There's not lots of rule changes. It's just like minor ones here and there, but it's not too bad. It's just, a lot of rules.
I bet. And there's different rules between club volleyball and then rec league volleyball.
Yes. Yes.
Is it easy to get them kind of mixed up at times, or do you study before? Like, okay, we're gonna play, a rec league tournament this weekend, so let me try to refresh in my brain on those rules, or how do you do it?
The rec league, they usually. It's a single elimination tournament. So with the rec league that we play, there's not a lot of other rec leagues. Now, other clubs are putting together like smaller summer, or I wouldn't say tournaments, leagues to help their organization. I haven't done any of those. So usually with club, though, you play 4 or 5 games in a tournament. So if they're a paid ref, it's more, how would I say it? I guess I wouldn't say fair, but you're going to get somebody that knows what they're doing versus if I'm reffing, I'm not the greatest. I'm not going to call you out of rotation because I'm just going to call you if you take too long to serve, which if I have to up ref, that means that it's not a paid tournament. How it counts and stuff is a little bit different, but I'm not going to call a double. Most doubles don't get called if it's just like a regular like club coach reffing. Depends on the level of play too, I think. But I guess an official is what you would call it, a ref, a paid one. They're pretty.
They know what they got going on, right?
What is the girls, when we do have to ref, I'll have to be a down ref. The girls have to do the scorebook, which is absolutely a nightmare. They have to keep track of who goes in and out. And it's squirrel, like their attention span is very, very small when it comes to that. And parents get irate if the score is not correct.
Oh, I bet.
It gets pretty bad on that part, but you're thinking you have 10 and 11-year-old girls doing what some grown-ups struggle to do.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a mess sometimes with that.
Hey, those parents that complain and they need to go get behind that table and figure it out that way. Because I'm pretty sure the girls be there talking to each other and then forget what they doing. So Like,
Yes. And they have to keep track of like when the sub goes in and when the sub goes back, and it's numbers. And then like the libero, they have to keep track with that. And then at the end, that's what they have to turn into the region to actually get it counted against like your wins and losses and stuff like that. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, that can't be too good. Can you share your most memorable moment since you've been coaching?
My most memorable moment. Probably the girls struggled for a long time, put in lots of work, and just could not pull out a championship win. They just couldn't do it. Each season they would pull it closer and closer, but just couldn't do it. So we refocused and we did a little tournament of our own. And then ever since then, we took first. I think my team has been in the number 1 or 2 spot with our little league the past year and a half. So that's a pretty proud coaching moment for me. Like,
okay.
That was like, it just took off from that. Like something just clicked. All the work, all of the everything that they had been working on, it clicked, and they've been ready to go ever since. So it was really, really, really cool to see everybody really excited and to see that they really could do it. They just had to really fight for it. So it was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, and that's when it's good, it when they see it, right? Like, us and adults, we'll be like, man, only if they knew what they did or what they've been doing, and they just, as a kid, they probably just feel like, well, I mean, I feel like this is what I'm supposed to do, so like, no big deal, right? And then it's like, nah, like you progressing pretty fast there now.
Yes. And I always tell them all the time, like, y'all don't know how good you actually are. And I think this time, whenever we went to club, I'm like, y'all are playing higher. You're older than you. And then this past 3 or 4 seasons with those girls, they would play 12 to 13 years old, and they ended up first and second. So they were playing middle school, almost high school, while in elementary school, and they were beating them. So I'm like, that's pretty impressive. Like, y'all should be proud of that. That's not what you should be doing, but that's what you're doing.
Yeah, and they just like, oh, it's just playing volleyball. That's it. Nothing else.
They could lose against a professional team and would cry because they didn't win. And I'm like, you're not supposed to win.
Right. That was not the plan for you to win. You probably shouldn't even score a point. Let's just start there.
If you scored 5 points, you should be proud.
Yep, for sure. What advice would you give to young players, like somebody that just start playing volleyball? Like, what advice would you give to them?
How bad do you want it? And if they say they want it bad, what are you doing at home? Other than your mom and dad can pay for lots of private lessons, lots of training, but it doesn't matter if you're not doing something on your own at home. If you don't want it, you're not going to get it. It's not just going to come easy. So you got to be able to put in the work. If you're ready to put in the work, there's going to be people out there that are going to help you. And you have all of the ability to be able to succeed at what you want to do, but you have to do the hard stuff. It's not going to be easy. So just really telling them you're going to have to work for it. It's not going to be easy is probably something I say all the time, honestly. Some of them, they get so much in their head.
So like, let's say it's a rainy day out, say, oh crap, I haven't been able to do anything lately, been having to do, certain things. And now I want to get a chance to go do something. I'm free, but it's a rainy day outside, right? Like, what's some things you can do just inside the house that can help you with just the most simple, the smallest little skill in volleyball?
So for me, I like quarters. Like if you put a quarter right here, I was taught here, and then you like do this, you have to catch it, right? I didn't do it correctly because my chair's here, but you go
Right.
here and then you like catch the quarter and it mimics your swing whenever you go to swing. So you can pull through. If you don't
Okay.
swing and catch it fast, you're not going to catch the quarter.
Mm-hmm.
So I always tell my girls, I have quarters in my bag before games at tournaments so they can work on that. The doorway right there, I used to have my daughter open the door and do her approach. Her hand had to touch above that little thing up there
Mm-hmm.
before she
Okay.
could come out. So she needs to do her approach. We had a couple handprints on the walls. um, I tell some of the girls when I do private lessons, something that they can do. They have a really hard time when they're learning their serve to generate or to shift their weight, like from one foot to the other. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
when you're brushing your teeth, shift your weight back and forth. I was like, that takes nothing from your mom, your dad. That's all you. If you want to get better, do that every day for the next 2 weeks and see how better your serves are. That's something you can do individually. That's going to help you get better quickly. But it's going to be an amount of stuff that you're going to do at home on your own without mom and dad telling you, you got to do this. That one, you're going to see progression very, very quickly.
Okay.
So it just really depends on how bad they want it. There's all kinds of stuff that they can do at home. They can do setting it with a ball, just throwing it like on the floor. They can do golf balls, tennis balls, balloons, all kinds of stuff that they can do at
Okay.
home.
Okay. Yeah. Get to work. No, just
Yeah,
no.
Post-it notes. What I used to do for a little while too, I would be like, go at
Mhm.
home, go in your garage, go 4 jumps every day, and see how high you can get that Post-it note. Try to beat it each and every time.
Mm, yeah.
They like
Okay.
that, something that's not work, but something that's like, oh, I got it. Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
It's
Right. Yeah.
a goal every day.
Hmm. Yeah. Keep be like then they'll be coming running and say, oh, look, I got it over the other one, got it over this one. Like, yeah.
Right. And what I'm more focused on is now you have your footwork and you didn't even know that you were doing the footwork
Hmm.
because now
Right.
you were just so busy trying to, okay, I had to do it this way to get that there. Well, each time I'm getting higher, well, that means you're getting your footwork done, which is a plus. That means you're creating that muscle memory, which is great. That's what we want.
Right. Yeah.
I call it a
No.
Mr.
Yeah. Right. Hmm.
Karate Kid. So I always tell them certain things that we're doing this is a Mr. Miyagi moment. Wax on, wax off. We're doing it not because it's what we're going to do in a game, but you're going to replicate this movement so much that it's like that. And they
Hmm.
kind of just most of them have no clue what I'm talking about. So I'm like, oh, I have to have a movie night, Cobra Kai or whatever Karate Kid is now.
Hmm. So you can show them.
Yes. I always tell them, have you ever seen Little Giants? And they're like, no. And I'm like, I'm just going to have to get y'all Alka Seltzer so y'all are just foaming out the mouth. So it's like intimidation. What?
Yeah, they have no idea what that is.
No idea.
These kids, man, they don't. I be trying to, and every now and then, because I'm not a big movie person, but if we have something and they want to watch a movie, like we not watching a new age movie, we watching something from when I was a kid.
Yeah, they're like that too. I make my kids watch all of the old movies before they watch a remake. It's
Yes.
mandatory.
Yep. Yep. They got to know exactly where it come from.
Yes, and they usually like the older ones better than the new ones for a lot of things.
Hmm. Yep. Because
Shocking.
they're better. So knowing what you know now, like in coaching, what's something that you would have done different from when you first started coaching?
Practice planning.
Mm,
Planning my practice out a little bit more, which I still struggle with that sometimes.
mm-hmm,
But I feel like, and my husband's always on me about that. He's like, you need to plan your practice. You need to plan your practice. I'm like, okay. But we just get a lot more done. And really, now that I know a lot more drills and what we're focusing on, higher level stuff, we can kind of up things. So it's really getting more out of the practice when you practice plan, honestly. So I think that's one of the biggest things I would do. Um, and probably relax just a little bit.
Just a little. She
Relax
said just a little bit.
just a little bit. And I know my parents will laugh every time because they'll be like, "Ooh, coach is gonna get her. Coach is gonna get her. Oh, they're running on Tuesday." Like they already know.
Hmm.
But the kids know too, and I mean, they take it like a champ. But I think when I first started, I was a lot more, I don't know, just unorganized. I feel like
No. Okay.
now I feel more. It's a little bit more organization. Still have room
Okay.
for myself to grow too in that, but
Hmm. Oh yeah, but it's always good to be able to grow in all the aspects, because once you feel like you can't grow anymore, then that kind of stunt your coaching, right? You get coaches that they think they know everything, they're the smartest person in the room, and then that's when your coaching I mean, you can't go any higher. So wherever you get to that point where you think you're the smartest in the room, then that's where you're gonna stop at.
and I've noticed too a lot of coaches, and I think this is a struggle for a lot of teams sometimes, or my struggle with a lot of coaches is whatever a 17 or a 16-year-old regional national team is not necessarily what a 9-year-old team needs to be doing, because
Mhm.
a lot of kids are going to get frustrated. A lot of parents are going to get frustrated. Now it's different if you were in like a program setting, then you're not playing games. It's not about winning, it's about developing. But some people that go to rec ball, they're just trying it out to see if they like it. So
Mhm.
my job as a coach in a rec ball, which are mostly just parents, I take it a little bit different. I'm like, I want them to fall in love with the sport. I want them to get them excited so they want to come back and they want to do more so they improve quicker and we can make better athletes out of it like that. But a lot of coaches just know one system. This is what it is, and it doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't matter how many times we lose. This is what we're going to do until you get it. And that's some people the way they coach. I don't coach like that, but if it works for them, it works for them.
Yeah, you're right. You're
I just
right.
like to,
Hey,
I don't like to lose. I like to win.
I hear you. Hey, nothing wrong with that.
There's other ways we can go about it. We can do two things at once. But
Hmm.
how are we going to get there to be successful? So
Yeah.
just I guess broadening your horizons. I guess different. A couple of the certifications that I have, it's from different college coaches, and each one have a different way that they coach different things. So I'm like, I like the variety. It's not just one person telling you this is what you have to do. It's different ways, and a lot of coaching is just preference.
Okay. And to get in those certification classes, like what steps do you take? Do you just find them online, or how do you go about that?
I researched mine and went into them that way. They're a little pricey.
Mm.
Um, they're close to like $400 or $500, but for each one it can be at times, but there's sometimes they offer deals, and if you become a member, which when you become a member with some of these like the USAV volleyball and stuff like that, they offer um, clinics, like coaching clinics out of state that you can go to and attend, and they actually give like live demos and stuff like that. There's a lot of resources out there for coaches. You just got to go do them.
Hmm.
You got to
Yeah.
you gotta want to learn too. They're not just like,
Mhm.
here, everybody here, go sign up here. No, you gotta go
Yeah.
looking for it. If you want to get
Yeah.
better, and just like anything else, if that's I started with watching a couple of the videos and I'm like, I really like what they have to say. I want a little bit more of their premium content. Love what they say there. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and buy what they got. And I think I bought everything in their whole thing, honestly. But it's one of the guys from the that would coach the USA volleyball.
Okay.
He was one of the guys that wrote it, and he focused a lot on youth. instead of just college or high school, which drew my interest because that's what I was dealing with. And a lot of things that myself and my husband were learning, like, why aren't we doing different things versus what everybody else is doing?
Mm-hmm.
They really hit on that. And we were like, oh, we were right. Like, we're not crazy. Like, we understand what's going on. So it just validated more reasons why we continue to go the route that we did with some of our teams and some of what we were doing, some of the skills and things that we were teaching. And it works. So just more validation on, oh, we're on the right track. It's not that we're wrong or anybody else is wrong. This is what's better for our team and how we want to run it.
You're right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's good. And my final question. So I know I had messaged you because I got the idea from another coach on that I should start podcasts of the spouses of the coaches. So
Oh, that would be great.
I got that somebody sent me a message and they asked me, and I want to get their spouse on the show. But my famous question that I like to ask is, who would you like to see on the podcast? But you have to help me get them on the podcast.
Okay, let me see. My husband can come on the podcast.
I'm pretty sure you can get him on the podcast.
I'm sure I can get him on the podcast. And then I have a couple other coaching, another couple coaching that have like spouses that are pretty involved. I'll reach out to them too.
Okay. I think I could get up to since I do on StreamYard now, I think it might be 5 or 6 people. So
Okay.
I mean, if we could do a good group session, we can try to make that work too.
Okay. I will definitely get to work on that because that will be interesting.
That would be, yeah. I want to hear from that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
but again,
My parents
thank,
are laughing at me and my husband. They're
huh?
like, all my parents, all the time, they're like, Coach's husband's here. Like, let's watch. Let's watch what
Mm.
happens. So
Yeah,
yeah.
because it's just a little conversation and it'll spark a nice debate. Oh yeah, I know. Me and my wife, we do that. We do that a lot. We do that a lot. So I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I will
again,
definitely work on that.
okay. Well, yep. That'll be really good. So, but I really appreciate you again. For being on the podcast. I know we tried to do this a while back and we just couldn't get it figured out, but we was able to get it figured out. So I really appreciate you for giving me your time and being on the podcast.
Oh no, always fun. Always fun. Thank you for having me.
Okay. All right. Have a good one.
All right, you too.
All right. That was the volleyball part. So hopefully we can get that done. Have her husband, couple of other parents and their husband on here that's involved in coaching volleyball. That'll be very, very interesting. I want to thank again everybody for all the support that y'all give me throughout this podcast journey that I started. I really appreciate everyone, that's always supporting Levi's Youth Sports Talk. My wife, she's a travel agent, ever blessed. So if y'all see her posting stuff on Facebook, it's not a scam. It's her. She's doing that stuff. So she really enjoy it. She takes a lot of time out in doing it throughout her day, her life, especially with all the kids. So if anybody need anything booked and you just don't feel like doing it, you can get with her and she'll be able to see what deal she can get you. Again, thank Steve Aguado, Justin Womack for the banner, and for Steve Aguado for the banner, and Justin Womack for the chain. My wife, she makes the shirts. And for anybody that their kid got their favorite saying, they would like a shirt, they can put their favorite saying on the back of the shirt. And just, I really appreciate everybody for the support.